Welcome to Splurge or Save. If you're new here, this series is about whether you should splurge your money a little bit and buy this game, or whether you should save your money a little bit and not buy this game. It really just depends on what game we're doing, but we're going to be doing Sniper Elite Resistance today. Alright, like I said previously, today's game is Sniper Elite Resistance. The story in this game kind of eluded me, so I'm going to try to explain it as best that I can. Repo's story was way easier for me to get, but so this one, you're playing as Harry Hawker as the main character in this one, who is normally the second character in all the other games. You lead the SOE for the first time as Harry. I don't really understand what the story was, because I remember in Sniper Elite 5, you had Carl as the main character, and he was great, but in this game it's Harry, I guess. So this video is going to be structured a little bit differently than my last one, since there aren't any tips that I can give in this game. Like, it's just a game where you go in and shoot people, play the only way you know how, you know what I mean? That's all you really got to do here. So instead, I'm going to be talking about all the guns that I have at the time that I record the footage, and which ones I like best, and stuff like that. I don't have all of them, I'll tell you that. I won't have all of them. And that's about all I can do. I'm also going to go over pros and cons too, and I think I'm probably going to spoil the last mission in the game. I might talk about this a bit later, but I'm probably going to spoil it, but I'll put up a bunch of warnings and stuff, so you'll know way ahead of time that I'm going to spoil it. Alright, we're jumping into the cons. We always start with the bad on this channel, okay? So we're going to do this for every game. Con number one on this one: this game could have been a Sniper Elite 5 DLC. I believe that with all my heart. This game could have been a DLC. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a Sniper Elite game, right? But it could have just been a DLC, because there is nothing to this game, really, compared to all the other games. I'm going to talk about the price later, but for what you get for this game, could have been a $20 DLC. Con number two. So I'm not going to spoil the last mission here, but it is the dumbest mission in any game that I've ever played. You'll see. I'm going to spoil it. I have to show you this mission. It is so stupid that they put this in the game. And I'm gonna spoil it at the end. I'll put up warnings, so if you don't want it spoiled for you, you'll know to skip. Con 3. I was gonna put this in the pros at first, but then I kind of thought about it more. These missions feel very similar to Sniper Elite 5. Like, almost the exact same. I feel like I'm playing the exact same game, and that's why, like I said, could have been a DLC, because it's literally just the same game. You're still fighting Nazis too, so like, it could have just been the same thing. It doesn't even make sense. I don't know the point. I don't know if I'm missing story here, if the whole point of this game is to just add a little bit more lore to Harry, a character I don't even really care about anyways. I really don't understand. Maybe it's supposed to be like an offshoot of Sniper Elite 5 and not the next game, but even then, like, you still could have just made this like a $20 game then instead of a DLC. You know, like, I don't get it. Con 4. This one's kind of personal, but there's one map in this game. One map. And I hate this map. Me and my friend were playing multiplayer. We could not figure out what we were missing. We were just missing, I don't even remember what it was, but we ran around the map for like an hour and could not find where we were trying to go for the mission. Like, we had no clue where to go. Con 5. Now, this one's gonna spoil how I feel about this game, and you'll see why. But this game is $50. $50. Let that sink in. This game is $50. I get it. It probably took a lot of people to make it. It probably took a lot of time. It probably took everything you had to get this AI right. It probably did. And knowing that it's on Game Pass makes me feel a little better, right? Because that's how I'm playing it, because I am not spending $50 on this game. Oh, no. You will not see me spending $50 on this. But if you are on Xbox, I will say that, like, it is a good game to pick up and play, especially right after you beat Sniper Elite 5. Yeah, I'd pick this up. But this kind of spoils how I feel about the game, but you should still watch the rest of the video, please. All right, our last con. Our con number 6. Paid DLC. Guys, can we talk about this a little bit? Now, I was trying not to dog on this game as much as possible, but then I found this one out, and like it makes me want to uninstall every Sniper Elite memory that I have, because this game has paid DLC, a game that is already way too expensive. Yes, I played it on Game Pass. I know I didn't spend any money on it, but a paid DLC. And it's a paid DLC to kill Hitler. So they knew that what they were doing too, because they know that people are going to be like, oh yeah, I can kill Hitler. That'd be fun. Let me pay for this DLC so I can kill Hitler. What are we doing to even support buying that? What are we doing? No one should have bought that DLC. Maybe the one person that I've seen that made a YouTube video about it, and he's the only one that's allowed. Everyone else, what's the point? We should have boycotted these DLCs in this game. There's 2 of them, not just 1, but 2. 2 paid DLCs in a game that's already $50 when it should be $20. Now we're going to move on to the pros of this game, and admittedly there's not a lot of pros, but there's not really much that I can talk about that I'm a big fan of in this game, because I'm not really that familiar with this franchise, but we'll get started with this anyways. So the first pro, the game looks and runs great as always. Since I've played Sniper Elite 5 and that's it, it's pretty good. I mean, it looks literally the exact same, which is another kind of downside, because to me, if you're going to release a game there's nothing really to it and it's going to be $50, the game should at least look like a massive upgrade from the previous one. But it's literally like, I'm pretty sure they just copy and pasted it. It looks the exact same. They both ran well, even in multiplayer, especially, I mean, the game, I think it's more fun multiplayer, but it ran well. Pro number 2. This is the last pro I could think of, which is not a good sign for this game. Pro number 2 is that the maps are still good, but I kind of said this in pro number 1, but the maps are good. Even if they feel the same, they're still good. They feel nice to move through and stuff like that, except this one map. That map that I said was a con earlier that you saw, that map, I hate that map. But everything else, great. And that's really all I have for pros, which is, like I said, not a great sign for this game at all. If I can only think of 2 pros, like I guess another pro would be, oh, it shoots nice. Yeah, so does every other Sniper Elite. Like that's literally the whole point. So obviously the shooting's gonna be nice. All right, in this section, I'm going over the snipers. As you can kind of tell, that transition kind of messed everything up. I couldn't fix that, but I'm just going to go through all the rifles here, and then I'm going to cut here, and we're going to go to the secondary weapons, which I always recommend using the trench gun. The trench gun's the best weapon in this game, but I'm going to show you one of the other guns that I use the entire time. I also want to take this time to say that, I like this game. I really do. It's a fun game. And I'm not saying do not buy this game, because it is a fun game to play. I'm saying just don't buy it for $50. I just cannot buy it for that. I don't understand why they would make it that price. I also want to say that when I did the multiplayer, I never did any of the Axis Invasion. I've never really done that. If Axis Invasion is good, please let me know. And now I'm going over all the skills that you can get, especially the combat ones. These ones are really, really good and change the whole game. A lot of these skills are really helpful to have. And you see I have 3 there. I'm not going to spend them here, but then I'm going to finish clipping all this. And then I'm going to go back and do those points. I don't know why I didn't do that when I was doing this. Also, never use the extra item slot. I thought you could take 6 bandages with that, but you can't. You can only take 3 bandages. You can set it for 6 bandages, but then it will only let you carry 3 for some reason. I just want to take the rest of this time to tell you guys about how I think that the Switch 2 was actually priced really well, and that people need to stop overreacting to the price. And that might be a hot take, but I think that the Switch 2 at $450 is a good price, because you can get a Lenovo Legion Go for $700, and it has almost the same graphics. So I don't know why we're all complaining about the $450 price. Mario Kart is overpriced though. All right, now the fun part of my videos. You guys kind of saw this in the first one, but if you haven't seen my first video, we're going to do a fun part where I'm going to show you one of my birds, and whichever bird it is, you'll kind of know if it's going to be a yes or a no from me. But I'm going to show you one of the birds and they're going to react. If you see Gigi, he is my white-faced cockatiel. And then Georgita is my Lutino cockatiel, which she's bright yellow. And you'll know. If you see Gigi, it's a yes from the birds. If you see Georgita, it's a no from the birds. Denied by the birds. Now we're going to talk about my thoughts on this game. And this is admittedly probably going to be a bit long-winded, but stick with me. So in my opinion, this game is not worth the price point. We're going to change my rating system for games in this video too to reflect how I feel about prices on games, because I think your money is important. And $50 for this game is a no-no. I think that I would only buy this game if it were half off, $25 or less. I would not spend more than that. The fact that it's on Game Pass, I would recommend going and buying Game Pass for a month, play this game in the 2 days it'll take you to beat it, and then use the rest of the month for literally every other game on Game Pass. That's all you have to do if you want to play this. That is the only way I would recommend playing this game, besides buying it half off if you really want to own it like that, you know? All right, so in the ranking today, we're going to rank multiplayer, single player, pricing. I might add some more later on because I kind of want to get like really in depth with it. But for now, we'll just keep it simple for this game because you guys already kind of know my feelings anyways. And we're going to start with multiplayer. Multiplayer, that's a 5 out of 5. This game is so fun multiplayer. Even the 5th one, great. I love these multiplayer games. Any game I can play multiplayer, I love. I played and beat this game for the first time with a friend, and it was fantastic. Even though the game's a bit bad for the price, it was still fantastic to play with friends. So a 5 out of 5 multiplayer. Single player, I would probably give it about the same. We'll just go with a 5 out of 5 because it literally just plays the exact same and you're by yourself. I'll give it a 5 out of 5 because the game looks nice, plays well, that kind of thing. And then our new addition today, the price point. This one gets a 2 out of 5. I think that this is a bad price, but I don't necessarily think it's like the worst price because they're charging $80 for games now, people, right? We all know the whole Mario Kart tea. Like $80 for a game is crazy. They're going to start charging that for like every game here shortly. We might do Kirby and the Forgotten Land next. So keep a lookout for that, by the way. But if we do that one next, I'm going to give my predictions on how much that the DLC and the upgrade pack are going to cost together and how that's going to reflect on the game. I don't know if we already know that by the time this comes out. We might, but I'm going to talk about it anyways. But yeah, like I said, price 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5. This is not a great sign to make a game a 2 out of 5 price from me, of all people. That is really not good. All right, that's the end of this video. I appreciate you if you made it all the way here and you watched the whole thing because my channel's not very big and I'm trying to get somewhere with this. This game was a blast to play with a friend because we had just recently finished the 5th one, jumped into this one. It is fun to play, especially if you have Game Pass and you don't have to spend any actual money on this game. Like I said throughout the whole video, $50, like come on. We could have priced this a little better. Like even 30 would have been a great price. I just think that they missed the opportunity here with that pricing. But those are my thoughts on this game. Like I said, I think we're going to do the Kirby and the Forgotten Land next. I kind of rambled on there in the middle of talking about this game. I started talking about Kirby. Don't know what happened there. Sorry for that. I think I'm going to do that game next because I do want to get my predictions out there for what the DLC is going to cost and all that stuff. And if you haven't yet and you're interested, go check out my Repo video. I talk about Repo, explain the monsters and everything like that. And after I dropped that video, I kept learning more and more things. So it makes me kind of want to redo it because I've learned a few more things that would be helpful information to have. But either way, just go watch that, give it a like, and please subscribe. I'm looking to actually go somewhere with this. So all right, now we're on the last part of the video. This is the last mission of the game. It's going to be really quick. I don't want you to blink. You might miss it. I want you to keep your eyes open this entire minute and 30 seconds this is going to take, please.
I'm certain to be spotted here.
Once this bullet hits him, that's it. That's the mission of this game. The very last mission. What a mission. Props to whoever took the time to make this 1 minute and 30 seconds. Props to you. Thank you to everyone who made it this far in the video. I appreciate you, and please subscribe. I'm doing Kirby and the Forgotten Land next, like I said, so keep on the lookout for that.